First of all, apologies for such the long duration of my previous review and this one. It has been hectic, it has been busy, and lots has happened and lots was going on in the background. So yes, I apologize that I haven't been pushing out many reviews on YouTube, but here we are. Lies of P on the Xbox Series X. A SoulsBorne type game. So if you're into your Bloodborns, if you're into your Dark Souls, if you're into your Sekiros and stuff like that, then this game is probably gonna tickle more than just your testicles. I'm gonna say it right now. So is Lies of P worth it? Is it a good game? Is it worth your time? Let's break it down. I have written loads of notes. Plus we'll go through our usual formula just to help you guys get a good understanding of what the game's about and whether or not it's worth giving it a try. The very first thing that we always look into when it comes to any review is always the audio, because I am a massive audio person in video games, and audio, soundtracks, music and whatnot can make or break video games really easily. The soundtrack to Lies of P, as I expected, being a SoulsBorne type game, is absolutely phenomenal. It truly is, and I really have nothing negative to talk about. There is a little addition to the main game's music itself. You can run around and collect vinyl collectibles, which you can also listen to in the hotel, and I have actually found myself just sitting there playing some of the vinyl music from the collectibles. It's just absolutely fantastic. The boss fight music is fantastic. The theme area music is fantastic. It just all works so well together. So I can't say anything negative about the soundtrack of the actual game itself. Now, when it comes down to the sound effects within the game, the sword play, the explosions, the impacts, again, I can't really fault it. It sounds beautiful when you're actually playing it, and it's definitely been polished up, because there weren't any times where there was a loss of audio or any sound glitches or audio glitches or anything like that. So again, I'm gonna have to give that just a double thumbs up, and we'll move straight on. The voice acting is it's perfect. Again, I can't fault it. The actors and actresses that they chose to play the roles of all the characters. Your main character obviously doesn't, the antagonist doesn't really speak. But all the other characters, the NPCs that you come into contact with, the boss fights as well, because you do get vocal dialogue in the boss fights. It was perfect. Can't fault it. Didn't have an issue with it whatsoever. I really didn't. The graphics, we don't knock points off for how graphical the game is. It could look like a retro game, and if it was still good, we'd still praise the shit out of it. So graphics, as you're aware, I don't knock points off of it unless the graphics don't work, unless there's an issue with the graphics engine that they've chosen to use, with maybe screen tearing, frame droppage, missing textures, glitches, and I saw none of that. None of that whatsoever. The game is incredibly beautiful. Like, it is breathtaking to look at. And we played the game in performance mode because we wanted to ensure that the frames were as high as possible, and the game was absolutely stunning. It truly is. It is, again, such a beautiful game to watch. Weather effects, there were quite a few weather effects within the game itself. I'm not talking about any snow, but there were a lot of areas where it would be raining, there'd be thunder and lightning in the background, but very minimal. You couldn't really hear it that well. There was also foggy areas itself. You had sunrise, sunset areas, nighttime, and the game is gorgeous. It truly, truly is. But there weren't a lot of other type of weather effects that we could talk about. I mean, snow is a big one for me. I absolutely love snow, but we didn't get any snowy areas, unfortunately. Gameplay and mechanics. The gameplay is almost identical to Sekiro. And if you're familiar with that game, it is a SoulsBorne type game, Bloodborne, Dark Souls type game that well, you can't use a shield. Just like in Sekiro, it is pretty much about deflecting attacks at the moment the attack hits you. And I'll be honest straight away, I did not complete Sekiro. I got all the way to the last boss and I stopped playing the game because that last boss was just disgusting. I couldn't do it. But this game, we did complete the entire game from start to finish. 47 hours in total. And it is heavily parry or deflected. And you need to be good at your timing. You do. You don't get punished as much. Yes, you will lose health, and as the game goes on, the enemies do hit a lot harder and you will lose even more health. So you do need to kind of study some of the enemies and study some of the bosses to learn when to deflect their attacks at the right time, and then that will guarantee that you don't lose health during the deflection. If you block with your weapon, you will take damage, quite a bit of damage sometimes as well. So it's always best to try and master the deflection side of things. And that's why I said that this game kind of is like a crossbreed between Sekiro and Bloodborne. But yeah, Souls type game. You'll understand straight away when you hear that, because there are so many Souls games out there. And I fell in love with the game. I'm not going to lie. I loved it from start to finish. I really did. Replayability and game difficulty, there is a new game plus option. We didn't opt for it. At the very end of the cutscenes and the credits that we had a prompting. I said no, I didn't want to trigger new game plus, because there's a few more things that I want to do before I actually trigger new game plus. But yeah, you can if you wish to. If you don't care about collectibles, if you don't care about trying to achieve all the achievements and stuff, you can go straight into New Game Plus once it's finished. That is completely up to you. I always try to do 100%. We did 35 out of the 42 achievements in one playthrough. We found probably 80, I was about 80% of all the vinyl records, so we need a few more to find. And we collected a shocking amount of weapons, boss weapons and normal weapons. And we didn't get the achievements for finding all of them. So again, I'm going to go through the list and see which ones I missed and try and find them so I can get those achievements as well. But yeah, there's a lot to do in this game, a shitload. And if you're actually a pro player at deflecting, you'll be able to skid through the game pretty fast. Compared to me, because I died a lot. I'm not that I'm not that great at deflecting. I'm not that great at I'm really good at Bloodborne and Dark Souls games, but when it comes to games like Sekiro, I suck at deflecting at the right time. I really do, because the window is so small and you've got to be on point with it. You really do. With what the game has to offer, you play a character, Pinocchio. And if you've read the books, if you've seen the Disney movies, you kind of understand the whole concept of Pinocchio itself. There is a truth and lie system within the game itself. Depending on your decision making throughout the entire game and side quests, where you get prompted to either tell the truth or to lie, it will alter your playthrough as you go along. And I tried really hard to be honest at the situations that were going on. I would lie sometimes to protect people's feelings, and I would tell the truth in other situations. So I kind of went with a crossbreed, and we ended up getting the best ending in the game as well, which absolutely blew me away. I did not expect that. I thought I was either gonna get the neutral or maybe the shit ending. But the true end, the ending was great to watch. But again, depending on which way you choose, you can change the outcome, obviously, at the end game decision making. I'm not going to tell you anything about any of that because it would be spoilers, and we don't do that. The weapon system that's in the game is fucking amazing. It is probably one of the best weapon systems I've encountered in a Souls game itself. It allows you to almost customize the majority of the weapons in the game in any way that you want. And a good example is the majority of all the weapons that you find within the game are two pieces. They are the hilt and they are the blade itself. Now you could use that weapon in that form if you wanted to, or what you could do is you could dismantle the blade and the hilt and crossbreed them with other swords and other hilts to create your own unique monster masher dash boss killer dash stabby. All the weapons in the game have their own statistics, they have their own stats. Some have elemental effects, fire, acid, shock. The boss weapons themselves cannot be dismantled. You are forced to pretty much use them in their original form, but they are very powerful. We found some killer boss weapons in the game itself. There are a large range of accessories that you can equip to Pinocchio to increase Pinocchio's resistances and stats, just like you would find in any other Souls game. And what's also cool is that you can find upgrades to Pinocchio's framework to increase further resistances, further attributes, and to protect Pinocchio from dying. And I found very early on that one of the most important stats wasn't really, a strength build or a dexterity type build or a magic build. It was increasing the capacity of your character, which is the weight. So you could equip more and more of the high tier upgrades, because as you go up in tiers, they get heavier and heavier. And that in itself was massively boosting my defense and protecting me from deaths a lot. So take that as you will, but capacity is very important in the game. It is really, really important. You can also upgrade the weapons just like you can in the majority of Soul games. You do require stones that you find throughout the game. You can go visit the blacksmith, who's very attractive, and she can further increase the strength of those weapons. She could also add attachments to the hilts to alter their build. So if you found a really nice weapon but it's a dex weapon and you're a strength, you could alter the hilt into a dex type, but you do lose some of the stats of the weapon itself. And I thought that was an amazing little add-on to the game. It was fantastic. There are some cruel elements that can hit your character. One of them completely insta-killing you, which freaking sucks, because you can't in any way negate it. It's gonna build up, and if it reaches maximum and your health is full, you're dead. It's just like the frenzy that's in Bloodborne. When that meter goes up and reaches maximum, you're pretty much screwed. So be very careful as you play throughout your game. The quests that you get throughout the game, they're all unique, they're all different, they're not boring, and I'm telling you now, some of the quests really tugged at the heartstrings, and I think that's what they want you to do as a character. They want to make you feel, which goes against the whole aspect of Pinocchio being a puppet, and I think that was just absolutely awesome. I really do. Yeah, story, not gonna spoil it. Not gonna spoil it, but the story was absolutely fantastic. Did I understand the entire story on my first playthrough? About 95% of it. There's still a tiny bit of hiccup here and there which I don't understand, but as the playthroughs expand, as we do more and more and more, hopefully we'll be able to master it. We'll get alternative endings, we'll get the other collectibles that we couldn't get on our other run because we chose different decisions, and yada yada yada. But this game is definitely going to be played a second time, 100%, just not straight away, because 47 hours back-to-back streams of this game was a bit much. Any game customization, there are costumes and outfits that you can find throughout your adventure and that you can earn through rewards within the game itself, and they are purely cosmetic only. They do not carry stats. In other words, like Dark Souls, you can't find a brand new chest piece that has loads of defense and shit like that. No, it doesn't work in this game. You can only wear them for cosmetic purposes only. Masks and the actual coats themselves are all just for image, which, I don't know, maybe a missed opportunity right there. To be fair, a missed opportunity in my opinion. Some of them are cool though, I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me. Online co-op modes. There is no online co-op with this game. This game is a complete single player Soulsborne experience, but the addition to what they chucked into this game is the ability to summon an entity called the Spectre, and that Spectre is like an AI controlled companion that can enter boss fights with you, but they're a bit ditzy and a bit clumsy and a bit I guess the best way to describe them is they are a distraction for the boss sometimes. Sometimes the boss don't give a shit and goes straight for you. But every now and again, the Spectre does become a little bit handy. You can obtain an item midway onwards throughout the game that can actually buff and enhance the Spectre. You can actually heal the AI companion a few times during the fight, but sometimes that still isn't enough. You really do need to practice, learn the boss's movement style or the enemy's movement style, and just try to get good at deflecting. That's really it. Honest to God, if you can master deflecting, you won't need to use the Spectre. I did. In every opportunity that I could, I definitely used the Spectre. Why? Because I suck sometimes. And I wanted to experiment. I wanted to see what it did, and I enjoyed it. I really did. Features and stability. Can't talk about the stability because there is no online aspect. It's all purely offline. But the stability in the game itself, we didn't have any game crashes. We didn't have any freezing. We didn't have any boots to dashboard or anything like that. We were absolutely fine. Purchase price versus a digital price and value of content. Now, we did get the opportunity to play this game for free off of Game Pass, which is a massive fucking win to my wallet. But just because we played it for free doesn't mean I'm going to be padding this review in any way. I am reviewing this game based off of its £50 price point. $49.99 for the standard edition and $59.99 for the digital deluxe. The digital deluxe comes with a couple of extra outfits, but that's all I saw, to be completely honest. If it does contain anything else and I missed it, then please let me know. But I did it on stream with other people, with the viewers, and all I saw was 3 outfits. That was pretty much it. And is this game worth $49.99? And in my opinion, 100% yes, it is. If I wasn't able to get this game for free off of Game Pass, I would have been absolutely over the moon to own it at the $49.99 price point. Because 47 hours of game content plus New Game Plus, hell yes. 100% yes. I was absolutely blown away by this game. Now we need the notes. So that's one part. The game itself is 36 gigabyte large. That scared the shit out of me when I saw that, because I honestly thought that the game was going to be small. I was wrong. I was massively wrong. This game is very long, loads of areas to go to, and it was... I don't know how they managed to get it in 36 gigabyte. I'll be completely honest. It's published and developed by NeoWiz. 4K Ultra HD single player experience only. It does have 2 modes, quality and performance mode on the Xbox Series X. So you can trigger it between performance or trigger it to quality if you want the characters to look prettier. Completely up to you. Pop-up description. This is one of my gripes. Throughout the entire game, whenever you pick something up that's new, a pop-up will come up to describe what the item is, and that pop-up disappears in about 3 seconds. The text could be a long, beefy text, but you've got like 2 to 3 seconds to quickly read it before it disappears. That is so goddamn annoying. There are books and there are artifacts or weapons and stuff like that I wanted to read, and again, I just had to go into the actual game menu and look at those items individually, because there was just no point reading the prompts. They were just way too fast. If you try to read scribbles on the walls, it's the exact same thing. It would be a massively long paragraph for you to read. You'll get about 6 or 7 words in and the whole prompt will just disappear. And you can't just push A straight away. You have to move away from the object, step forward again and inspect it again. I had to do that 2 to 3 times on some of the posts because I couldn't read it as fast. I don't get it. It's like they expect androids to read this fucking game. That really, honest to God, please patch that. Please add a couple of seconds extra so people can read that shit before they, so they can carry on with the game and not go into their menus to read shit. It's so annoying. The roll system is garbage. It is. I'm sorry. It fucking is. Out of all the SoulsBorne type games that I've ever played, the roll mechanic in this game is absolute dog shit. You roll like you're a medium weighted character in Dark Souls. It's not speedy, it's not fluid, it's not. You flump yourself on the floor like you were heavy weighted. And weight is in this game, and I was always light weighted. And yet I still rolled like I was a 90-year-old man. And I tested it. When I went up to medium weight, it was the exact same roll animation. When I went to the heaviest weight in the game, I couldn't roll whatsoever. So it's honestly like that they forgot to put in a fast roll. Like they did medium and heavy and went, nah, they don't need fast roll. I do, because I suck at the game. I really do. And it really killed a lot of the experiences because I was getting hit by attacks that I knew I rolled through, but because it was a slow, clunky mechanic, the distance in your roll was so short, you usually get hit straight away after the roll, and that's just, it sucked. I feel that they do need to revisit the roll animation and maybe patch in a quick roll for light builds that gives you a bit more distance away from the enemy and doesn't feel like you're sluggish. But I don't know, I have had a lot of feedback from people who said the exact same thing. So it's not just me who's having the problem with rolling. It's just in the game, it sucks. It really, really, really does. The phone riddler was amazing. I absolutely loved the riddles. Some of them were way too easy though, and I do think that they should give you more of them because that was a really, really, really cool feature in the game. Ability to create your own weapon. We've already spoken about that. If you die in a boss room, the souls ergo that you dropped are actually outside the door. So you can pick them up before you enter the boss room. I fucking love that. I do. But I did notice that if you die and you get hit on the way of picking them up, you lose some. And to regain them, you need to hit enemies to regain what you've lost. Cool. I love that feature. The enemies are obviously target locking the player. Because no matter where you roll left and right, if an enemy is doing certain attacks, they'll follow you. And it is so hard to counter that sort of a system when the enemies can track where you're moving. So if they're about to slam a weapon down, they can actually turn during the animation and follow you. And that is stupid. It is stupid as fuck. Again, I don't know if that's something that they can patch, but that was a bit of a ruiner for me because I died so many times to enemies that were tracking my character, even though I was jumping about like a jackrabbit on crack cocaine. I was going as fast as I could sometimes, and I was still getting walloped over the head because the enemy were tracking where I was going, and that sucked. Weapons pinging off of walls, very inconsistent. This actually ruined a lot of my fighting in the game, and I actually had to change spec. If you use a large weapon, be very, very cautious in small areas of the game, tight corridors and stuff like that, because every now and again your weapon will ping off of the wall, leaving your character completely open to an attack. And I started off with the strength build with a very large sword, and I was enjoying it until a lot of the areas that require you to go down narrow corridors, and my weapon would randomly every now and again ping off the wall. And yet when I directly face the wall and I attack, the weapon goes right through it. And I noticed it only happens in certain angles. And that is a danger format for this game because it leaves you open. So mid-game, I changed to a lunging stab dexterity build, and I carried that throughout the entire game. I loved it. I absolutely loved the build. We found +1 versions of certain items, which leads me to believe that if you go into New Game Plus, I'm guessing you pick up +1 items of everything that you find, but that's just a guess. Bonfires, the stargazers or bonfires, when you're inspecting one of them, will show you where quest hand-ins are, and I absolutely love that because that really, really helps people who want to hand quests in and they don't know where to take it. Absolutely amazing feature. 3 game endings. That's it. That's all the notes. So now what it boils down to is, would I recommend this game to everyone? And what would I score it? Oh, the cat. There's a cute cat. There's a really cute cat in the game. That kind of reacts to your humanity in a way. The more human you become, the more the cat likes you. But be careful, because at the very beginning of the cat fucking hates your guts. It tries to take out your eyes. So, yeah, the cat was cute. For some reason, yeah, I'm not going to say more because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, it gets a bit weird as you go through the game. But yes, would I recommend this game? 100%. 100%. This game's a masterpiece. It really, really, really is. And I absolutely loved the entire experience. I really did. Yes, I got a bit ragey. Yes, I got a bit angry. Oh, it is what it is. It is what it is. But we completed it. I loved every second of it. I did. I really, really did. I can't wait to play another run of this, but we're not going to do it straight away. I'm going to be honest. So what would I score it? It's a no-brainer. With the issues that I've highlighted, I feel this game truly deserves, in my honest opinion, a solid 9 out of 10. Easy. An easy 9 out of 10. If they did tweaks to the rolling, if they did tweaks to the wall collisions, and some of the other things that I spoke about, this game could have been a 10 out of 10 easy. Easy. It is definitely a masterpiece of a game. It just needs a little bit of tweaking. But I am very confident and very happy to give this game an easy 9 out of 10. Go buy it. Play it on Game Pass if you wish. If you do love it, consider buying the game to support the company behind it all, because there is a beautiful Easter egg at the end of the credits that you need to watch, and it could really support them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the review. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up on YouTube for me. Throw some comments down below. If you're wondering where I've gone, I am not currently on Twitch at the moment. I am currently streaming live right this second on Kick. I dipped my toe on the platform, and within 2 weeks we got an affiliate with them, and I'm pushing for verification. So if you love my content and want to support me even more, please create an account, follow me over on Kick, come in chat and just say hello and join in on the fun. I hope to see you all soon, and I can't wait for the next review. So take care and bye-bye.